This is the Nike Air 180 Pan Records Nix, and this pair I picked up for £81, so I thought I'd review them as well. I'm a big fan of the 180 model, and again, to be honest, these weren't on my radar, and just I suppose Dover Street Market had quite a few different types of sneakers on sale, so I picked these up just to see what they're like really, and even if I don't keep them, you know, I can get rid of them at the sort of same price or if not more, so I'm kind of happy with that. And then this trainer is, I think, as far as I remember, it's based on the inspiration of, I guess, a record itself, and you can sort of see that on the heel. So it's got that kind of molded plastic, and also the dance scene, especially early 90s, which, you know, this sneaker obviously reflects anyway. And on top of that, you know, your Pan Records have been around for quite a while, in terms of obviously being a record label itself, and they, I think, normally sort of make dance music. So it's kind of, you know, I guess, representing a multiple different sort of layers of meaning. And then also it's got this kind of basically pattern on the outsole, which I think refers to sort of mischievousness, you know, in terms of like how Apron Records sort of see themselves, and I think that's the reason why it's called Nix as well. And in terms of the trainer itself, the 180 came out around sort of the 1990-91 period, and it's one of my sort of favourite sneakers. I remember getting these as a kid as well, you know, the ultramarine pair. And this one is obviously got a different twist on it, and being a collab, you'd expect that. And it's kind of, I suppose, made to be more sort of hard wearing. You can probably hear that this, you know, isn't really sort of the standard sort of mesh. It's got more of a hard wearing kind of material, like a rough material, almost sort of nylon-y. And I think it'll be sort of quite sort of waterproof, and the same for this sort of outline going around here. It's supposed to be like a melted record as far as I know, and the same for the heel as well. So it's kind of all melded together, and then you've got the Nix branding on the Air unit as well, which is really cool. And obviously that coach follows through with the 180 going all the way around the sneaker, and I also like the fact that it's blacked out, so I think that adds a nice touch. I'm surprised that it hasn't got the small swoosh, and you can sort of see the mini swoosh on the front here, which all the pictures show this having a mini swoosh, but if you like put it on the reverse side, you've got the mini swoosh there. To be honest, I'm not a fan of that, and if I was to sort of had one nitpick, I still would have preferred a normal swoosh, but obviously, you know, Pan Records are going for something slightly different, but, you know, more power to them. And yeah, like I said, it's more hard wearing and probably good for, like, you know, like I said, going out and about and that kind of stuff. It's obviously, if you look at the storytelling, that's kind of what it's meant for. So with the comfort, I mean, it comes with this, like I said, polyurethane midsole inside, and then, like I said, it's got the Air unit going around the heel. To be honest, like, 180s aren't the most comfortable sneakers. They are quite sort of firm on foot, similar to an Air Max 1, I suppose. I think they're more firmer than even a Air Max 90, especially with this sort of big bubble model. But however, you do also, with similar to an Air Max 1, it's got like a drop on it, so it's going towards the forefoot, so you sit slightly higher up on the heel side, and then it's the drop to the forefoot. It's not too bad, but I think you need to just get used to wearing them. But I think once you sort of wear them a few times, they start to wear in and start to feel more comfortable. So I will give them that. But I'm also just used to wearing this type of footwear because I'm an Air Max head anyway. And with, like, I suppose the upper as well, I went to kind of half size upper knees, and that's what I'd recommend to everyone. And, you know, I think for Air Maxes in general, they're quite sort of padded out. This one, I suppose, even this particular model, the next one, you could probably go maybe even true to size. What I found with this one compared to other Air Max 180, this one has more of a pointed toe box, which I'm surprised by, because the other 180s don't look like this. But if you're a fan of that, then obviously, you know, something to sort of look at. But, you know, overall, I think, you know, the fit on this is fine. You know, I didn't have no pressure points really. Like I said, it's only just at the forefoot here where it's just a bit more sort of slimmed down and trimmed that you might have experienced. And then the outsole, similar to an Air Max 1, I suppose, is not the greatest. The waffle pattern on the front's fine. You've got like these divots to kind of give you, you know, sort of flex. The back, not so much grippy, you can sort of see. But it works fine. It's not like it's amazing, but, you know, it's not something that I'd wear in sort of autumn, winter time in sort of really harsh weather conditions anyway. With the look and style, I mean, again, it's got kind of this sort of stealthy look to it. You know, if you're a fan of that, where you've got sort of minimum, I guess, branding or minimum look, you know, it's a good one to sort of wear even going to work and that kind of stuff, because it just looks like a basic black trainer. And then also, like I said, the materials on it is quite sort of hard wearing, so you know, if you're a fan of this look where it's quite sort of minimalist, then you know it's definitely worth checking out. And you know, overall, I think they've done a good job in terms of making it look different. And again, you know, being a black trainer with a little bit of hits of grey on there, I think it kind of matches with pretty much anything and everything. And yeah, this one you could probably go with the Smart as well. So with the ratings, I think with this one, I'm going to go with a 4. I think it's a nice pair. I just don't think it's as nice as like the OG pairs, in all honesty. That's kind of my gripe. But apart from that, you know, it's still a solid pair, especially if you're sort of 180s. Because, you know, I feel like these will go up in price over time. It's just, initially, I don't think people were that enthused by them. And, you know, they kind of dropped, went on sale, and quite a few places. And then I think eventually the price will go up on these, just because of the limited nature of the 180 in general. And in terms of comfort, I think, you know, the 180s aren't the most comfortable, but they're not horrible either, so I'd probably go with the 4 for that. You know, I find them okay, I find them fine for wearing all day, but obviously your mileage may vary. And in terms of the quality, I think that also probably give it a 4. It's got sort of rugged, hard wearing materials, but it's nothing exceptional, nothing of high quality in my opinion. And same for the cost as well, £145 I think they were originally. A bit on the high side for a pair of retro trainers, so for that reason that's also a 4. And that's why overall I'd give these a score of 4. It's a good effort, but you know, comparing to an OG pair, I'd rather have the OG pair, but like I said, I picked this pair up for £81, so I'm not that fussed about them, and I think, you know, they're really nice for that price. And like I said, I feel like because of the slightly limited nature of these, they haven't been too popular, but I do see them sort of climbing up in value just because.